Welcome to a new Teen CGC 9.8 video. So today I want to have a look at some 9.8 comics that I got wrong. And yeah, I've made quite a few bonehead calls, I would say, in the last 6 to 12 months, to be honest. Pretty much since the channel had started, I'd really recommended a Batman 404 in the 9.8. So much so I would compare it quite often to a Batman the Killing Joke in a 9.8, and usually conclude that a Batman 404 is probably the better 9.8 to grab. But I think time has shown that maybe I was wrong on that with some recent prices. On Batman 404, we saw one, talked about it, that sold for $177.50 in an auction that just ended like a week ago. And that was a kind of a really cooling down price, I would say, for a Batman 404. Recent prices on a Killing Joke, $255 and $285. So it seems to be hanging in there a little better than Batman 404. And I think, maybe I just underestimated a little bit like how iconic the Killing Joke is, classic Alan Moore story. And, maybe fell in love a little bit with Batman 404, like there's way less 9.8, so, maybe I kind of went to 404 for that reason. And I really remember 404 from my childhood, so I'm probably a little bit biased. Whereas Killing Joke, not so much for some reason. But Killing Joke, 3,887 9.8s in a blue label. That is probably, I think, the most 9.8s for a Batman comic book that I personally know of. Yeah, I can't really think of any that has more than 3,800 in a 9.8. 43.8% is the 9.8 ratio. So you're not really buying this one because it's like really tough to find in a super high grade. It's just more about that classic story. Maybe I underestimated that a little bit. But, nowadays with Batman 404 cooling off, I think if you're a Batman fan, you could really consider both of these. It's just they're ones where maybe I wouldn't expect too much from an investment, perspective. Like, I don't think these are going to go to the moon and you're going to double your money in the next couple years or anything like that. But as a Batman fan, if you kind of can grab these ones right now at the lower end of a fair value, I think they're pretty great collector items and should do pretty okay over time. So closer to $250 on a Killing Joke. And I think, yeah, that $177.50 is a price to aim for on a Batman 404 9.8. All right, next one. I think I kind of got this one wrong. The Dark Knight's The Batman Who Laughs, #1. With this one's the origin of the Batman Who Laughs. And I picked this one up. It was about $110. I think it was like 108 something, maybe about 6 months or so ago. Someone had kind of told me at that time, like, oh, the Batman Who Laughs is in like some Fortnite game, and I didn't even know about that personally. But I think during this time, this one heated up just a little bit. Since then, I kind of saw a few of these sell in the $80 to $90 range in an auction. So I think just got the timing a little bit wrong on this one. Not the best collector item in a 9.8 for a modern comic too. I feel like maybe I probably just should have passed on this one. I actually do have one in a raw copy, so I kind of feel like this one's not that tough in a 9.8. The raw copy kind of would suffice for me. And I do have a Teen Titans 12, the first full appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. That's actually a really great one in a 9.8 and a tough one. This one, not so tough, 740 9.8s. In the blue label, 80.7% is the 9.8 ratio. So, 80% of them that are sent to CGC end up being 9.8. So it's not a tough one. And yeah, recent sales in that $80 to $90 range. I think I kind of, just jumped on one in Canada around that 110 range, and probably should have been a little more patient. And yeah, probably one you could live without in a 9.8, even if you're a big Batman Who Laughs fan, which I am. But it does kind of fit into my collection, so, I'm not too bummed about that one. So the next one, not too bummed about this one either, but definitely, I think, got the timing wrong on Jurassic Park #1 in a 9.8. A book I definitely wanted. This is a George Perez and Gil Kane cover. So just two super classic artists and a great eye appeal on this cover as well. This is the first Jurassic Park comic book. But I paid $240 US for this one, pretty much when that Jurassic Park Dominion movie was coming out, and this was just one where like I need to take my own advice. Like, how many times on the channel have I said, "Oh, there's a movie out, you got to wait 6 to 12 months after the movie to get a better deal"? Should have did that because recent price, this one just ended about a week ago, 147.50 in an auction. So I paid 240 US dollars for mine. Going down is just getting the timing wrong on this one for sure. And yeah, thinking about it, I think it's just, you know, if we look on the cents, it's 86 9.8s in the blue label. So when I purchased mine, there was like 50 of them. And I'm like, you know what, a 1 of 50 for 240 bucks, first Jurassic Park comic with great kind of George Perez Gil Kane cover. That's probably worth 240, but I just was kind of blinded by, like, I should have known that Jurassic Park Dominion movie was out. There's going to be some, extra hype and demand generated because of that movie. When the movie goes away, all that goes away and the prices go down. And that's basically what happened with this one. 30.1% is the 9:8 ratio. To be honest, though, there's a lot to like about this one, and I am still really kind of happy to have it in my collection. I just like kind of taking it out and looking at the cover for sure. 147.50. I think it's pretty much a price to aim for if you're a Jurassic Park fan. And the timing's right on this one now. Yeah, I got the timing wrong, buying it when the movie was out. Timing a lot better, and I think right around $150 is a good value for the first Jurassic Park comic book, especially if you just like Jurassic Park movies growing up. I actually didn't even see the new movie, to be honest. I just liked, I saw the Jurassic Park movies when I was a kid and really liked them. So I just thought that was a cool comic book to have, and it's like a Topps comic too, so I'd imagine like pretty low printed compared to a Marvel or DC comic of the early 90s. So yeah, some things to like about Jurassic Park 1, but I definitely got the timing wrong on that one. Okay, next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51 with the first appearance of Jennika on this one. So yeah, this is just one that I've recommended, over the last year or two quite often. And, the prices during the times I was recommending them were kind of, $275. They were in the last 6 to 12 months, I would say. Before that, they were even over $300, and the market's really cooled off. There's so many books that have gone down in that time. But a recent sale on a TMNT 51, $172. So certainly I think I was wrong to kind of pound the table and recommend this one at when it was 300, 275. They were kind of in that range for a good long time. But there's a 262 9.8s in a blue label. 63.4% is the 9:8 ratio. But you know what? At this cooling down under $200, $172 price, if you can hopefully grab this one, I think if you're a Turtles fan, this is just kind of one to want. First appearance of pretty much the fifth Ninja Turtle, a big hero first appearance, I think, in the modern age. That's kind of on the cool down right now. I really like a 1 of 262. This is the first printed. There's like a retailer incentive version. There's a few other editions of this one, but I actually just like the first print eye appeal the best. And yeah, a 1 of 262. For me, this is just like a way better book than say like When Cindy Moon Becomes Silk or something like that. There's like 4,000 of those in a 9.8, or even like Edge of Spider-Verse 2. First Spider-Gwen, like yeah, that's a way bigger first appearance, but there's like 3,000 of those. So I just feel like a 1 of 262. There's going to be there's about a Turtles movie every like 10 years maybe. And I think that's a pretty good bet. Like maybe the next Turtles movie they bring in Jennika and have kind of the 5 Ninja Turtle team. I think would be really cool. And just given how studios are kind of introducing all these female heroes, I think that's more of a possibility. So yeah, to be honest, maybe recommended this one a little bit too much when it was higher, but I really like this one on the cool down right now. Hopefully you can get it close to that $172 recent price in an auction. It was on Comic Link. Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good price on the TMNT 51 in the 9.8. Yeah, just a cool one in the modern age if you're a big Ninja Turtles fan like I am. Yeah, I like the first appearance of Jennika books. Okay, and the last one is a Wolverine number 88. Yeah, one I've really liked, and maybe a similar story to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 51, where maybe I was just recommending it a little bit too much when the market was really hot, and they were $400. They were kind of around 400 for a good long time, and for a minute there, I think they even got up to 500. But a recent sale on this one, $264. I think they might have got even a little bit lower on an auction or two. But yeah, I think, for Wolverine 88, it is a really cool one. It's actually developing pretty decent on the census. There's a 264 9/8 in the deluxe edition blue label. I probably should have combined the other part of the census, because half of the other part of the census, they just started switching and kind of documenting the deluxe edition separately. But before that, on the normal part of the census, probably more than half of those are the deluxe edition as well, which is the easier one to find. So it's a bit confusing on the census. But 264 in the 9.8 in the deluxe edition, 24.5% the 9/8 ratio. So kind of 1 in 4 about our 9.8, which is actually pretty decent for a mid-1990s book. So it is kind of developing into a pretty tough high-grade 9.8 comic. Because, yeah, like I had purchased all mine. This was one where I recommended this quite a bit when the channel had started as a great underfollowed one. And I grabbed one of mine for like $55. Another one was like $100, and another one was like $150 or so. And they really took off, and I made a lot of videos kind of saying it's kind of a great under-the-radar 90s one. If you're a Wolverine and Deadpool fan, yeah, this is the first time Wolverine and Deadpool fight. But since then, yeah, again, it kind of went up to 400 or 500 there when the market was hotter. 264, a recent price. So yeah, maybe I was wrong to kind of pound the table again and recommend it in the last year. But right now, under $300, maybe a little bit closer to $250 in a Wolverine 88, I think is a pretty great one if you're into 1990s comics and if you like Wolverine and Deadpool as well. Yeah, pretty great, like New Mutants 98, like the Deadpool key issue that you'd want to get. But this is kind of a great secondary Deadpool key as well, I think. Okay, so yeah, always great just to for me, I think, to go over a few times I've been wrong, and I don't expect to be right all the time anyway, so it's fine that, I've been wrong a couple times, because, yeah, I think overall, since I've been into collecting 9.8 comic books since like 2018, 2019, I've had a lot of like home runs and books that have like exceeded my expectations like crazy. So yeah, getting a few wrong is just kind of a good learning experience. So yeah, happy to share a bit of a short list here of some good lessons, I think. Okay, we'll leave it at that though, team. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I'll see you on the next one.